Hey guys, come on in. Welcome to the channel. It is K Talks TV. And like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, subscribe to the channel. It's free and a great way to support me and my channel. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Faith Evans and the fact that she is being sued by the estate of Valletta Wallace. And I'm going to be reading to you. According to All Hip Hop, they obtained documents detailing that the estate of the late Valletta Wallace, Biggie's mom, is suing the 52-year-old singer for allegedly keeping the trust portion of the huge catalog sale, I guess, of Biggie's catalog. Okay, according to them, it was $100 million sale, and Faith kept the proceeds that should have gone to the trust. All right. Give me 1 second. I am sorry, guys. Let's see here. Okay. So Wayne Barrow, the trust manager, told Billboard that Evans has been giving the money out to the late Brooklyn rapper's children, Tiana and CJ Wallace, in addition to pocketing some of the money for herself. However, the state has allegedly received none of the funds. And according to them, it was $100 million deal. So that's quite a bit of money. Um, I guess since the late Valletta Wallace has gone on to glory, uh, anything concerning Biggie is handled by a trust, so that if anything gets sold, any proceeds come in Biggie's name, a portion of whatever money is made is supposed to go to her trust. But Faith has, there was a sale, and Faith did not give over the portion that should have gone to Valletta Wallace's trust. Now, she did give money to her son, CJ Wallace, and she did give money to his daughter, Tiana Wallace. Now, with that being said, when I came upon this story, I was thinking of something totally different. Now, follow me here. A lot of times when people get into relationships, and a woman and a man might be together, and the woman has the desire to get married. Sometimes a guy will say to her, "Oh, well, we don't need to get married because um, that's just the white man's system, and we don't need the white man's paperwork." You know, I have heard, tell of guys saying that to women. And let me tell you something. When somebody says something like that to you, when they know you have the desire to get married and to, quote unquote, be legal, um, and to be, just to be made a decent woman, because, when you are with somebody, you don't just want to be not married for the whole course of your relationship. As you guys progress in your relationship, you know, you want to get married and do things the right way. But sometimes guys will, pull that nonsense on a woman, telling her that we don't need paperwork and it's just paperwork. And let me tell you something about paperwork and why paperwork is needed. When you go and buy a house and you go to that closing table in whatever state that you're in, and you sit down and you sign all of those multiple portions of that mortgage agreement, when you leave out of that lawyer's office, they're going to give you a whole big manila envelope full of what? full of paperwork. They're going to give you a deed, which is in essence paperwork. When you go to an auto dealership, what are they going to give you for your car loan agreement? And let's say you buy that car in cash. They're going to give you a title with your name on it stating that you own that car. That's also paperwork. If you have a car loan, that's paperwork. When you go to buy insurance, whatever type of insurance that you're buying, homeowners insurance, car insurance, what do you call it? Um, a life insurance policy, and they give you a binder, a proof of insurance. That is paperwork. When you have a child, you get a birth certificate. That's paperwork. You get a social security card. That's paperwork. You get a license. That's paperwork. A marriage license, a death certificate. This is all paperwork, and these are all things that we that we don't live in the jungles of the Amazon, where we're not in a third world country, and even in third world countries they deal with paperwork. So the reason why Faith Evans was able to, after Biggie's mom died, she has taken over his estate. Why was she able to do that, friends? If anybody could get in the chat or get in the comment section and tell me why Faith Evans was able to take that money, divvy it up amongst herself and his children, why was she able to do that? Because she had that paperwork. She had that marriage license. She is his widow. So she is entitled to make certain decisions on his behalf, even though he is deceased. Because why? He married her. And she has the paperwork to prove it. Despite the fact that he was with Kim during their marriage, he was with Charlie Baltimore during their marriage, and whomever else he may have been with during their marriage. He only married one of them, and that was Faith. So don't let anybody come telling you some nonsense about, oh, we don't need paperwork because, oh, that's just a white man's system and rada, rada, rada. No, ma'am. Now, if you don't care to be married to this guy, you're not really feeling him like that, and you just don't care, and he says something like that to you, it will go in one ear and out the next, because it really doesn't matter. But if you desire to be in a position where you're taken care of in the event that your spouse, something happens to them, you're covered. You can get his life insurance policy. You can get his social security death benefits. You can get his retirement and things like that. Whatever he has left behind, say whether he has a will or he doesn't have a will, you're the next of kin, and you are entitled to whatever your husband leaves behind. But if you fall for that, oh, we don't need paperwork scam, and let somebody play in your face like that, you will be left out in the cold. Like who? Like Lauren London. God bless the dead, the late Nipsey Hussle. They were not married. So I'm sure when he passed away, there were certain decisions that she could not make because she was not his widow. She was not ever his wife. Let me tell you something about what Faith could have done, being his widow and being his wife when he passed on. Faith could have shut it down to where nobody could have came to Biggie's funeral. She could have cremated him and not allowed anybody to come to the service. Because why? Because she didn't do that, but she could have done that if she wanted to. She didn't have to let anybody come to the funeral. But, she didn't do that because he was loved by so many. But paperwork matters, people. They give you that paperwork for a reason. So don't let anybody flim-flam you into thinking that it's not important, because it is. So, that's all we're going to talk about for now. Um, you know, Despite the fact that Lil Kim may have loved him down to the ground, loved his dirty drawers, there's not much that she could do after Biggie died but mourn his death. Charlie Baltimore the same, and whoever else he was messing around with. Um, Paperwork matters, people. All right, so that's been it. That's been our talk for tonight. And get down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about it. Thank you for watching the video. Like I said before, like the video, subscribe to my channel. And until next time, people, we'll talk again. Bye.